Hey everyone, Charlene Bauer, Ladies Off-Road Network, and we are live at 5 on a Tuesday, live from Reno, Nevada. We just completed the Rubicon Trail. It was amazing. It was exciting. There's so many stories to talk about, so many things to tell you about. And first and foremost, we have to give some major shouts out. So I want you guys to throw the heart signs, throw the thumbs up, throw the smiley faces, do whatever it is that you feel is best for you to do to highlight the accomplishments of Jessica and Day, Danielle and Carrie, Kaylee and Tina, Shelly and Scott, Lori and Rose, Jenny and Rick, and Vanessa and Courtney. Like, every single one of you, throw the hearts, throw the thumbs up, throw anything that you can possibly throw at the moment. Okay, except for at the screen. Yeah, I'm just talking about tap, tap, tap. And let them see the pride that you have in every single one of them. Wes and I also joined. My parents joined. Mom and Dad were on the trail. Everything was awesome. We had so much fun on the Rubicon. We did it, and we also survived the Jeepers Jamboree 70th anniversary party. And that in itself was a party to talk about. So, recapping just a little bit, well, he will continue to jump on because I have a history lesson for you today, too, is we all got together on Tuesday nights and had some dinner and had some fun, played some pool, started some laughing already. And then Wednesday, we went up to Georgetown and we got checked in. This is part of the VIP experience. Remember, anything Ladies Off-Road Network is VIP. So we just went ahead and passed that line on up and got checked in. Then that gave us time. We went across the street, had lunch at the hotel, which was fun. They got to see some of my old stomping grounds there. And then from there, we went up to Uncle Tom's cabin, which there's a long history lesson behind Uncle Tom's cabin. But they got to meet one of my friends that's running that now. The one and only time I went hunting was with Jack. So they got to hear Charlene's hunting story, which is pretty entertaining. So after we had a cocktail there, then we went on up to the mouth of the Rubicon Trail, to where it starts, to where the Granddaddy sign is. We played tourist for a few minutes while we got everybody their picture next to the sign because, well, that's the most important thing, right? And then we camped right there in the spillway for the evening, right at Loon Lake, at the mouth of the Rubicon. We were ready to set and to go when we were ready to set go in the morning. But I wasn't pushing everybody super hard. Like, we just needed to get done what we needed to get done and in a right amount of time. So Thursday morning came around and got everybody rolling. People were already heading into the trail, so it was kind of fun getting woke up by some Ultra 4 cars at about 5 o'clock in the morning as they rumbled on by. And, sorry, the dirt is still stuck in my lungs. And so they started going through, and then we started going. So we left about 7:30 in the morning from the mouth of the Rubicon Trail. And off we went. Man, am I proud of this set of girls. And so then we went up and got to Spider Lake by about 1:30, 2 o'clock. We took enough time, about a half hour, 45 minutes, in order for everybody to have some fun. Oh boy, here we go. I was wondering if this was going to happen. Hold on. The dirt is real.
Need water?
No. So, so we did that. Hold on, one more second. Oh, the poof dirt on the way out got in my lungs. And now it's just a matter of coughing it all up. It's kind of like King of the Hammers. It's great until you come back to clean air and try and speak. Okay. There we go. We're back. So then we got on the trail. We got to Spider Lake. We hung out there for a couple hours. And then off we went into the Rubicon Springs. Once we got into Rubicon Springs, we got there early enough to pull into our parking spot, pull into our camping area, let everybody get a drink, because everybody deserved a drink. And we all came together and had a huge cheers of cocktails right in the middle. And cheers to everybody and said, heck yeah, we made it, we did it, super proud. Took a quick drink and then made a plan. Let's go in for dinner. We got enough time, so we went down into dinner, had our first dinner there, which the meals were amazing, and then came back up and got camp set up. And everybody's camp was set up before dark. Like, what more could you ask for on a long day on the Rubicon Trail? Super exciting, super proud, super mama bear moment. No drama, no chaos, no issues. They worked through every obstacle. These ladies have put 6 months to a year into working on their vehicles, into working on their skill set, coming and wheeling with me for a day. They all had this as a bucket list item, and they managed it, and they managed it in a very, very, very awesome way. Super proud, super proud. Couldn't even be more proud. Trust me, they know this. They had to hear about it for the next 2 days as I would talk to everybody. So then the next 2 days were just casual. We hung out. On Friday, I took everybody for a hike where you got to go see the stone cabin and some hidden falls. And there's a newer cabin out there that they just recently built. And we actually had a VIP experience that was not planned. I'm not going to take credit for this one. But my friends were out there at the exact same time, and one of the owners of the cabin actually had the key. So they opened that up, and, you know, it's one of the rare moments where any of us even got to go inside the newer one, so that was pretty exciting. We hung out in the falls, put our feet in the water, and then went back to camp for lunch. Remember, just like every other event, everything rotates around food. So then that afternoon we went back up to camp and got ready and went down to the river and hung out in the river. You'll see lots of pictures of us in the river. So it was cool to just see everybody and float and enjoy the water. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't cold. So it was like one of those perfect days where you know you're going to be in the river. And as long as you put some sunblock on, you're not going to be super fried, right? But potentially. So it was a very nice weekend as far as the weather temperatures went as well. Friday night we got our lights on. We put some headbands on that had lights. I just bought us all something to look similar because a lot of the camps do that. Little did I know how convenient it would be that everybody had lighted headbands on, because then we could find each other all the time, which made us all very happy. It was very entertaining, actually. So we went down for dinner, and then we hung out with the band and partied all night, or until it all stopped. Yeah. So that was Friday, and then Saturday morning, we had our history lesson. So Rick Morris, his dad, Scott Morris, is inducted into the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame. So Rick Morris is giving the history lesson, and he wrote a book, which I have right here, and I'll be reading out of it in a minute. And then we hung out there for a little while longer. Chris Collard, also in the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame, he chatted with us for a little bit. I did a podcast that will actually air tomorrow on wheeling whiskey and wine, or is it wheeling wine and whiskey? Whiskey comes first for me, so I don't know which way it goes. But we'll be pushing that out for everybody tomorrow so that you guys can listen in on the podcast. But it was kind of fun for the rest of the group to sit there and see how that's done. There was a tournament going on for the oh my gosh, I just went blank on the word. Anyways, there was a tournament going on for what is it when you do the bags? if that's the one thing I forget today, right? So anyways, that was happening. And then lunch, river, dinner. Oh, cornhole, there it is. Yep, that's the word. Lunch, river, dinner, and this time it was the Saturday night show. So the crew at the Jeepers Jamboree and their 70th anniversary excitement brought in some fire dancers. Holy guacamole. I don't want that job. So that was pretty amazing to see these fire dancers doing this stuff. Like, it was insane what they were doing. You'll definitely see some videos and pictures from me soon enough with that. But it doesn't really create the atmosphere of being in the middle of nowhere and here's some fire dancers. And then the band started playing and off we went into another fun evening times. So everybody was having a great time. Sunday morning, we got up at a decent hour. I didn't make them get up super early. We got up at a decent hour. We went down. We had breakfast. And then we left camp about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And went on up to Observation Point where we had lunch. Ran Cadillac Hill. And everybody's like, is this Cadillac Hill? Is that Cadillac Hill? This is easy. I'm like, right? It is easy when you take it one bite at a time and you just walk right on up it. So we got up to Observation Point and had lunch and hung out for a little bit and made it to the end of the trail, aired up, and again, just like high fives, big smiles. You all saw the picture that we took from there. I'm like, okay, last picture, we made it to asphalt. And then I'm like, okay, but this is when it gets crazy because now you're back on asphalt and now we got moving rocks. Like, you've been away from the traffic for so long that you forget about people coming in from everywhere. So we went to South Lake Tahoe and everybody grabbed a shower and then we met for dinner and had a great fun dinner, hung out, chit-chatted, told stories, enjoyed the moment. And found our pillows pretty decently early and hung out, and then everybody started going home on Monday. Now, that's the that's the 80%, right? That's the bones and skeleton of the weekend. The rest, oh my gosh, the stories are awesome. I've been seeing some of them come through on the chat. Yes, the rock rollers were amazing. The rock rollers were there in order to help all the ladies come through. I was the first one, so I'm like, hey, I got 8 ladies behind me, and they're on their bucket list. They're doing awesome, so appreciate you. We got so many compliments from the rock rollers on how they were just the smoothest drivers out there, nailing the lines, nailing everything that needed to go on. So massive compliments to all of the ladies that were with us. And that really shows the testament of the effort that you have put in to yourself in order to be a part of this. So that is exciting. Excuse me, I'm sorry. If you're just coming in, that's the dirt. That's some leftover dirt. Then we had the bear spray incident that everybody's heard about. So danger, danger, star, star. If you get bear spray, put it in a zone where potentially, well, this is really any aerosol, but this was really interesting. So this bear spray incident goes as such. Apparently a Dr. Pepper had exploded earlier while we were on the hike. So the guys were telling the girls about that. While that was happening, boom, here was another boom incident. And the bear spray can, the aerosol can, exploded. So part of it went through Jenny's tent, which thanks to Shelly, she had orange duct tape, so you can't really tell there's a hole in Jenny's tent. The rest of it went everywhere. Bear spray is basically pepper spray. So the pepper spray was everywhere. People started coughing. The camp downwind started coughing. Laughing, not laughing, right? Of course. And knock on wood, nobody got injured in the moment. It was just a coughing environment for a little bit. So that was the pepper spray incident. Everybody leaves. All the girls leave after it happens. They go down to the river. I come back. So I start hearing about this from the group that was sitting there, which is mostly all the guys, and Shelly, I think, was about it. And so Scott was making a joke saying, hey, next time that you come out, you should really just bring caution tape and just caution tape Days JT, because that was the one that the Dr. Pepper exploded out of, and the bear incident exploded. And so I'm like, why next time? There's some right on the other side of your tent, actually. He's like, no way. So he jumped up and put caution tape all over her Jeep. When you guys see the picture, you'll understand the story better. But it is hysterical what it ended up looking like. So I'm like, okay, this is great. So we go down, the four of us, Scott and Shelly and Wes and I, go down to the river now, and we're just hanging out. Like, we're not going to say anything. We're just going to wait for everybody to come back and laugh about it and make a joke about it. So I stop at my tent before coming into the big group, so they're all start talking about the caution tape and laughing about it. And I guess Scott gets sold out pretty quick that it was him that ended up doing it. So I come around the corner, acting innocent, like I didn't know anything was happening. Turned on the video so I could hear the whole story. And while I heard the whole story, I'm like, caution tape? What are you talking about, caution tape? Where did that come from? Well, it wasn't long and I gave myself up. But it was hysterical. So that's the bear spray incident. It was not 130 degrees. There was altitude. It was probably 95. And it was in direct sunlight. So those three elements, attempt not to make that happen. Or be prepared for any consequences. Fair enough? So that was that one. We just had a lot of fun in the evenings, dancing, getting to meet people. I always enjoy taking people to VIP events where I can introduce you to everybody. And there was a lot of that was happening. We were definitely pipering it, or however you want to say it, duck calling, as we went from place to place. All the different groups there, they usually have different shirts on or different outfits on, you know, that show their group pride. We did the same, but with some silly hats and some silly lighted headbands that even the guys wore. Super proud of them. They were like they were gay men, so I appreciate that as well. But I cannot even say more than anything, just the biggest hearts, the biggest thank you for representing Ladies Off Our Network in a grand fashion, showing people what they can accomplish. These ladies talked to a lot of other ladies that were there and said, yeah, look what you can do. You know, most everybody's only been doing this for 6 months to a year, maybe a couple of years. And here they are on the Rubicon Trail just kicking it and doing rad things. So, that is my thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have some new ladies that are going to be a part of Ladies Off-Road Network thanks to their awesomeness and their communication. And that's really what it takes at the end of the day, is for you guys to communicate to other people what Ladies Off-Road Network is about. It's not just about me talking about it, right? It's about you guys talking about it and saying, hey, this is what I was able to accomplish, and you can too. So, with that said, here's your little history lesson. I'm going to read this, or a portion of this, but this comes from the book Rubicon Springs and the Rubicon Trail, The History of. And it's written by Rick Morse, who gave the history lesson that day. But here's what a lot of people don't realize, and I will admit, I forgot. Sorry if you're just coming in. I got the dirt riled up while I've been talking. I did forget about this, but this will never be forgotten about again. And I promise you on that. In 1908, the very first automobile arrives at the Rubicon Springs, driven by a woman. Yes. Marion Walcott. Marion Walcott was the first person to ever drive a vehicle to the Rubicon Springs in 1908. She was a media person, and so they were doing a big media push on this. And this is part of her report. Sorry, I don't think I'm going to get through most of it because of this silly cough. But I'm going to get through a little bit of it, and then I'll post the rest online, okay? So here's the first couple paragraphs. Ours was the first automobile that ever reached the Rubicon Springs, where we were welcomed enthusiastically by Mr. Abbott, the owner of the property. And this is when Rubicon Springs had a hotel. So this is what they were doing. They were running down to the hotel. One other car got as far as Observation Point, several days ahead of us. But after inspecting the road down the mountainside, the party wisely decided to go no further, for they said if they got down safely, which was more than doubtful, it was certain that they could never, by any possibility, get out on their own power, which is now known as Cadillac Hill. But then there were, and Mr. Hunter made us promise not to speak, or even think, of how we were going to get out during the week that we were intended to remain at the Springs. Sound familiar, ladies? We were surely repaid for our strenuous efforts to reach our destination. The climate was delightful, and although the high altitude makes it a little difficult to breathe easily when you walk or climb the hills, still it did not have a noticeable effect on any of our party. Everybody of this group was out of San Francisco. So it goes on, and then I'll read the last paragraph. Because they were talking mostly about just being in the Springs at that point. But good things don't last forever, and be who will dance must pay the piper. And we had to begin to figure out how to get out of this delightful spot. Well, to make a long story short, with the help of block and tackle, some 12-foot planks used to form a runway over each rock, too high to clear otherwise, a few cuss words to help over the worst places, after 5 hours' work to get up what it took us 5 minutes to come down, we finally landed on Observation Point once more. Hot, tired, dirty, but triumphant. The remainder of the run into McKinney's was made easily, for while full of minor difficulties, they were insignificant compared to that first great effort. I think many of you can write the exact same paragraph at the beginning and at the end. And in 1908, Marion Walcott was the first woman to ever drive a vehicle into the Rubicon Springs. Amazing, exciting. Trust in me. Nobody's not going to ever know about this again, right? We're going to make it a new holiday. I think that was the deal. But it's kind of neat how in here in this book, like, there's even a whole graph of Marion's day by day outline. And, you know, she was a media person, so that was her job, was to talk about it. So, more on that later. I just wanted to give everybody the history lesson on top of it. In our 4 o'clock call, we talked about some more bucket list ideas. I know you guys got it, but don't forget, the Ladies Off-Road Convention is October 12th to the 15th in Moab, Utah. It's a full week format for 2022. We have the Wilderness First Aid. We have the Tread Lightly certification. We have Give Back Project. We have a 4-day convention that is filled with all kinds of excitement. So if this is not on your calendar yet, make sure you get it on there. We did just change the date and location. That's on me. That's not on you. And I'm going to work with everybody on that over the next couple weeks now that Jeepers Jamboree is and the Rubicon Trail program is over with. That took a lot of my attention. So we're moving over to Moab. We're moving over to the convention. We're moving over to make this work. We're moving over to make it rad, bigger, better, badasser, which is our theme for 2022. And again, if you weren't here at the very beginning, let's give everybody some thumbs up, some hearts, some smiley faces for the people that took on the Rubicon Trail and smashed it. Jessica and Day, Danielle and Carrie, Kelly and Tina, Shelly and Scott, Lori and Rose, Jenny and Rick, Vanessa and Courtney, Wes and myself, my mom and dad, and a huge special thank you to Bob Sweeney and Lacey and the Jeepers Jamboree office, including Mike and Kevin, the whole group there at Jeepers Jamboree that welcomed us and said, yeah, absolutely, bring those ladies on in and let's make this work for them. Such a huge experience, such a huge opportunity, and thank you again to everybody that was part of it. Thank you for everybody that was at home that was thinking about us all weekend. We definitely appreciate that. And thank you to everybody that is making your way to the convention. This is our 6th annual convention. We're making it bigger, better, badasser. Moab, Utah, October 12 to 15. I'll see you there. Lots more information on that coming up probably next Tuesday. All right, we'll keep it going. All right, I appreciate you all. Have a great week, and we'll see you online.